Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir Al-Azouzi from easymedicaldevice.com, and today we will do the February 2025 regulatory update. First, let's start with our sponsor. Our sponsor is Medboard. So who is Medboard?
Medboard, the regulatory research and intelligence platform, is focused on solving the problem with increasing news and data and new requirements as regulatory intelligence, post-market surveillance, clinical literature review, and many more. We are making trusted medtech information and data more accessible, creating the largest information portal search and the best tools for review, intelligence, and portfolio management. We are already changing people's lives like you by reducing tedious manual and repetitive work or saving much time. Contact us at medboard.com to learn more about us and do a free trial.
Okay, the first topic of today is mainly about a deadline that happened in January, which is the deadline for the application of the Article 10A. Mainly the Article 10A, which is a new article in the EUMDR. So you see the EUMDR is still evolving with more requirements. So this is the article related to discontinuation, interruption or discontinuation. So it means that from now you have to report to the authorities, to the EU authorities, any potential discontinuation or interruption. And here people will be asking me, everything I should report, so if I discontinue this or that? No, you should, and this is the tricky point, you should report discontinuation for products that are considered as dangerous, if I can say, or life-threatening. Like without this product, there can be some problems in the market, there can be some harm, there can be some public threat, etc. So they are mainly saying that if a product can cause serious harm or a risk of serious harm to the patient or the public health, then you should report it. So then the difficulty and the tricky point is more about how can you define if your product is part of this category or not. So you have mainly to make an assessment and verify with the risk management also what are the risks of your device. If, for example, we don't have your device anymore, what can be the potential issue with the patients? So yeah, for sure we have some products that have no real risk at all, but we have some products that maybe if we don't have them anymore, we can have some public threat. So this is mainly something that you have to evaluate. And if you arrive to a conclusion that yes, this is a product that can cause harm or can have a risk of harm for public or for the patients, then you have to report it to authorities, and this is also something important, you have to do it 6 months before this potential discontinuation or interruption. And the problem is that it's more about 6 months. It's like, sometimes I don't know that I will have discontinuation. One of my, for example, supplier is contacting me and say, we have a product that is, or component is not available anymore, so we cannot provide to you. And then this can be also a problem. So you have again also to work with all the economic operators that are and suppliers that are within your supply chain, to also anticipate that, maybe have that within a contract with them to explain that if you have a discontinuation of a certain component is really important for me, then you have to inform me 6 or 7 or 8 months before, so that I can anticipate and can also inform the authorities. But so mainly here the message is be prepared, have a procedure for that within your quality management system, understand that this is a requirement that is really important, and yeah, try, if I can say, to really anticipate this by first, is your product really classified as can cause a serious harm or risk of serious harm to patient or public threat, yes or no? If yes, then you have to put a special control to that with all the suppliers and everything. So yeah, good luck. Okay, next we have IVDR transition period. So just a reminder, we have a date that will arrive soon for the IVDR, which is the 26th of May 2025. This is the date where it's the same as MDR in last year, 26th of May 2024. The date where you have to have a quality management system in place for your devices, and the date where Class D devices have to have an application with a notified body so that they can be certified under IVDR. So this is for Class D. Class C, it's 26th of May 2026, and for the application, not for the QMS. The QMS should be already in place. And for Class B, it is 26th of May 2027. So I give you again the link with all the timelines and everything, so that you can look at that. But mainly, this is a reminder. 26th of May 2025, there is already a due date for Class D devices, so you have to find a notified body and you have to have your quality management system in place. And the notified body then has until the 26th of September 2025 to sign the agreement with you. So this is, as I've said, the same as what happened with MDR last year. Okay, we have some updates within the EMDN nomenclature database. So EMDN is European Medical Device Nomenclature. So mainly this is the codes that you have to provide or to attach to your devices. And there were some updates about those codes, some changes, some because mainly there was a consultation about should we add this, should we add that, or change this or that. So there was some consultation where they said, no, we don't change this, or yes, we change, or we are partially changing. So here we have the list of all the changes that were or refused, or partially approved, or completely approved. And you have also the MDCG guidance, so MDCG 2021-12, which was talking about the EMDN question and answers, frequently asked question and answers. And there was an update due to all those changes now. And there is the new guidance 2024-2, which is mainly about the procedure of updating this EMDN code. So the change of EMDN code can have some impacts also on your product, because maybe you have selected a product that has an EMDN code, and now maybe because there are some updates or additional new EMDN codes, then maybe you have to switch to another one. So go to the FAQ and then you'll see what are the answers to mainly these kind of cases. But yeah, a change of EMDN can have also an impact on your product, so be careful of that and have a review within the frequently asked question for any question that can be raised because of that. Okay, the Commission is providing the list, the list of the authorities, so contact list, contact person or contact list of the authorities in the European Union. So this is, I think, an important list in case you are, for example, trying to sell your devices in multiple different competent authorities. Then you have exactly who to contact in case you have some questions. So this is a PDF file with all the different countries and names and addresses, etc. So my advice is just bookmark this, take it, have it somewhere, because yeah, as I said, at a certain point you maybe will need to contact the authority, and instead of looking in Google or searching everywhere, here is the list, here is the name, here is the address, here is the phone, here is the email, you have everything. No need again to just search for, oh, where is it exactly. And the most difficult ones are the ones where it's an other language, mainly where you are trying to understand the website and see where should I contact. So here is the list directly, go to the show notes and you'll just find it. Okay, you remember we had an episode with Eric Verbrecht also talking about the EU battery, so 2020/1542, which is mainly the regulation for EU batteries, that are used on devices, not only medical devices, but every devices, but there was a section for medical devices where there was some exceptions, etc. And here the EU Commission has issued a guidance to help you understand more about the EU batteries, the batteries mainly for devices. And there is a section for medical devices. I mean, you just make a Control F and you search medical, and you'll find a lot of things about medical devices. So yeah, the guidance is really just here to help you align with the understanding of what mainly you have to do. But yeah, this is something that has to be really understood in case your device is using some removable or portable batteries. Then you have really to look at that. There are some exemptions or exceptions, so you have also to look at that, because mainly your device is maybe not a part or not included inside this legislation. But remember, we have discussed about that with Eric Verbrecht on a podcast episode, and we have also made a blog post about it, so don't hesitate to go on our website and find it again. Okay, UK now. So a lot of updates in UK. First, just a reminder, we had a UKCA plan or timeline that was issued by the MHRA. Again, a reminder, your CE mark device can still be sold in the UK indefinitely for all devices except medical devices. Why? It's maybe the question. But mainly medical devices, you can still sell your device, CE mark device, without any change to the UK. Just you have to appoint a UK representative, and you can contact this medical device for that. And until the 30th of June 2030. After that, you'll have to apply the UK CA or the legislation that will be in place. But yeah, the timeline is that. So we have the timeline for IVDR, for MDR, and I place that again on the show note with the, this page with all the timelines, so you can see all that. So this is important. But even if you are CE marked and you are doing all this, there are still some new requirements that are also put in place, which are the requirements for post-marketing surveillance. So UK is now publishing a request for post-marketing surveillance, explaining how post-marketing surveillance should be done, what are exactly the requirements, even placing the template of a post-marketing surveillance plan or how it should to write it. I mean, they give you everything, so it's great. And I look a bit of it, and I think for me it can be the same as what we are doing for EUMDR. I haven't looked at all the details, but it can be the same. But I will try to have somebody to come to the podcast to explain to us what is this requirements for post-marketing surveillance in the UK, timeline and everything. I mean, the timeline is like it should be in force by the 16th of June 2025. So mainly this year also. And this process or procedure or document or page is really providing a lot of information, like also the lifetime of a device, the post-marketing surveillance plan, the vigilance reporting, what you report, etc. So this is really something that is really well detailed. So don't hesitate to go also on the show notes. I have placed all the documents one by one with the template, with the procedures, with the guidance, with the obligations. There is also the obligation per device type. So what are the obligations per device type? So it tells you mainly if you have to do if all the risks categories should be following this or not, etc. So you have all those information also mainly within the thing. I mean, when I look at it, apparently everybody should be following that. So it's not like a big, there is no big change here. Okay. Next one is the UK vigilance reporting. Mainly, we have, I think it's a continuation of what we just discussed about the post-marketing surveillance. There is mainly explanation of the process for vigilance reporting in the UK, with also the FSN, field safety notice, and how to write it. And there are also some guidances specifically for certain products. So the device for cardiac ablation, the joint replacement implant, intraocular lenses, insulin pump and meter system. So there are really some examples. It reminds me again some MDCG guidance that were also created by EU for specific types of devices. So it reminds me the same. So here you have also the opportunity to really look at all this and be prepared to implement gradually this process for the UK. But yeah, it's something that we will discuss, as I've said, with a surprise guest, maybe when we'll be covering this point more specifically. Okay, a last guidance in the UK is about IVD, in vitro diagnostics. So mainly, we had a lot of discussion about MD, medical devices, but now IVD, we have an explanation of what are the processes to place a device, which is an in vitro diagnostic device, in the UK market. So you have here the guidance. When I read it, yeah, it's still following the IVDD. I mean, they just mentioned IVDD once. Was also not clear because mainly they follow the UK MDR 2002, and which is mainly still following the IVDD. So IVDR is excluded from this section. So yeah, mainly this is what you should apply now if you want to go to the UK market. As I said again, if you are CE marked, you can go to the UK market without changing anything. But if you are not CE marked and you want to go to the UK market, then you have to follow the UK MDR 2002. And this is the rule for IVD. And again, in 30th of June 2030, then the rule will change and you have to apply something else. So yeah, it's a constant change. So buckle up, and yeah, I hope you are still following. Okay, this month of February, we have the training, the Green Belt certification program, so the EUMDR training, so that I'm providing normally every month. I mean, now I reduce the frequency because I have less and less people that are interested. So, but yeah, I try to still have it alive, and I'm always updating it to the latest requirements or latest information from the EU MDR. So if you want to participate, this is on February 24th. You can have the link also on the show notes. So it's a school.easymedicaldevice.com/course/GB33. So it's the 33rd edition of this course that I'm doing. So don't hesitate to join. So it's a 5 days training. We have a live of 1 hour and a half every day where I'm providing you information about a certain topic. And at the end of the week, you'll have to pass an exam. And if you have it, then I will give you your Green Belt certificate, and you can show that to everybody that you are trained on EUMDR and you know everything about it. So yeah, don't hesitate to join us and go to the show notes to have the full link, and just click on it and enroll. And I hope to see you on February 24th. Okay, now the rest of the world. So we have first the US with the laboratory developed tests. So it's like the in-house devices in Europe. So now we have the LDT, laboratory developed test, and there are still a lot of questions. So I have just placed here the information, the FAQ for laboratory developed tests. So if you it's mainly for healthcare institutions that are in the US. So mainly if they are developing themselves their own assay for in vitro diagnostic verification or analysis, then are they complying with the LDT regulation? Can they do that? Can they take, for example, an existing device that is already approved on the market and use it or change it or modify it? And this is a question that is also on this FAQ. So yeah, don't hesitate to go there if you have really some try to understand this kind of devices. And if you are an IVD company and selling in the US, this can be maybe something interesting for you to understand also. Okay, now Australia. So I have some manufacturer that says, oh, how can I apply to the TGS or to Australia for my medical device? And Australia has made a great guide, because it's visual with a lot of images and everything, on how to apply your dossier in Australia. So how to apply mainly your medical device dossier, what to do, where to click, where to do, etc. So it's really giving a big information, a lot of guidances. So this is on the show notes. Remember also, if you are outside of Australia and you try to sell in Australia, you still need to have what we call a sponsor in Australia. So if you need one, contact me. I will share with you the one that I'm using. Mainly, Australia is a great market because they are following a lot of what EUMDR is also asking. So then the gap between what you are actually selling in Europe and what you will be selling in Australia will be really low. So then mainly it can be also a good opportunity for you to expand the market and to go maybe to the Australian market also. Next is Malaysia. So Malaysia is also issuing a lot of guidances. We have two. The first one that we are talking about is mainly the guidance about Malaysia is the guidance for applying or certifying an HIV self-test. So mainly is explaining to you how to put in place those kind of devices on the market. And it's great because, as I said, those kind of guidance are good if you are having those products, because it's telling you exactly what they are expecting, even for the performance evaluation, what are the levels of sensitivity, etc. that they are looking for. They are also telling you what are the fees for the registration, what are the distribution channel, advertisement, what are the checklists to look at, etc. And after you apply, they will have 30 working days to review and to give you their answer. So mainly this is one guidance, but there are other guidances that are issued, but each time they are issuing a specific guidance for specific type of products. So this is mainly one of them. So don't hesitate to go there. As I said, this guidance is important because it's telling you specifically requirements for Malaysia. So there are a lot of things that you can recycle from what you have done in Europe to Malaysia, but there are really some specific requirements there, like you have to place a certain QR code that is given on this document also, and you have to place it on the label. So yeah, you cannot just take your device and sell it to Malaysia. You have to look at those requirements and see if there is any gap, but there are some gaps, so you will have to make some modification also. So look at that and try to understand it. The second guidance in Malaysia is about importing medical devices for personal use. which means that, for example, you are in a plane maybe, and you are importing a medical device that was both in France or Germany or wherever, and you arrive to Malaysia. Okay, what should you do? Should you report that? What are the processes, etc.? So this is something that is important because, yeah, this is happening every day, if I can say. So you are maybe a resident in a certain country and you are then importing some devices. Can you import a knee implant that is sterilized and put it on your bag and say, okay, I will use it for a surgery in Malaysia? Or can you import just a small syringe or whatever, etc.? I mean, there are a lot of things that maybe seems obvious that, oh yeah, but we can import this, but yeah, this is the regulation of that. So here it's more for people that are trying to go to Malaysia with some of those devices, so then to understand how it's working there. Then we have an alert from the Philippines on the product registration, where they are saying, it was surprising when I read it, it's like, be careful if you are hiring some consultants to work with you for the registration of devices in the Philippines. So I don't know what happened there, but mainly this alert is like, be careful. If you hire some of them, mainly there can be some problem. It's not a guarantee that the dossier will be approved, etc. So read really carefully the note if you are really selling in Philippines and you are using some of those consultants, because they are trying to disengage from them to say, we are not encouraging them to use a consultant in Philippines for that. We are not, and if there is some problem, it's not our fault, etc. So I suppose there was some problem. Also maybe in terms of fees, maybe the fees were huge when the fees of a consultant is not the same as the fee for the registration. So you have really to review that and to understand that, but this is just an alert. I don't know. I have no background, so I cannot tell you what happened, but there is an alert. If somebody knows, maybe you can tell me and we can share that on LinkedIn. But yeah, this is an alert. Okay, now Saudi Arabia is issuing also a guidance for, when you are bringing some products in Saudi Arabia for training or conferences or just presentations, etc. So they are issuing a guidance also of that, how to manage that. So it's the same maybe as Malaysia for personal use. So it's like here for just demonstration or training, etc. So how you should manage that, how you should organize this transfer, how you should report that to the authorities, what you should maybe place on the device or write on the device, what are documents to provide, etc. So I think this can be important because, yeah, we know that sometimes you go to conferences and you have to bring some devices there. So then they are issuing this guidance to help you not be blocked at the customs and not lose your devices, because sometimes, yeah, they are trapping the device and then you are losing them. So yeah, try to understand that before you go to a certain country. So this is for Saudi Arabia, but it's happening for many other countries. So try to understand that you cannot just arrive with your device without really having some preparation for it. Next one, China. So there are a lot of updates in China, and I find a website or somebody that is doing some videos about that, which is on China. And this video that I'm sharing now is the China roundup regulation roundup for 2024. And the company is called cisema.com, CISEMA.com, and they are making video about updates in China for the regulation. So maybe something that can be great to look at. So yeah, shoot out to them, because yeah, I like when people are doing those kind of updates. It's the same as what we are doing now, but here specifically for China. So you have maybe to go there if you are selling your devices in China. Okay, next update is about India. So they have updated their classification list. So mainly they are classifying devices. This device is class A, this device class B, this device class C, etc., etc. So they have updated their list. So the impact here is that if you were classified maybe class D, for example, and now you become class C, so then it's a reduction. But if you are class A and now it becomes class B, so it's increased. So there can be some changes in the requirements, some changes in the elements that have to be considered when you are registering your device in India. So here it's really important because mainly this has an impact. So if you are renewing, for example, your device, or if you are selling your device, maybe they will tell you, no, your device has upgraded in classification, then you have to do this or you have to do that. Okay, then the podcast episode. So we have 4 episodes. So the first one is how to register a medical device in South Africa with Kanizile Nkuku. So it was really a great episode. I met her during Afri Summit in Egypt, and it was really a great. She's really great and explaining everything correctly. And there are some timelines update also on South Africa, so it's really important. Then we have episode 319 about how to perform your post-marketing insurance for a drug device combination with Johan D'Souza. So mainly here, the point is the fact that you are doing some post-marketing insurance, but your device is a drug and a medical device, then how to perform this. So she's providing some good advice or questions about it. So don't hesitate to look at that. Episode 320, the top 5 common non-conformities on the ISO 13485 audit, and it was done by with Adam Isaac-Rai. So mainly he's doing a lot of audits, and he has himself defined what are his top 5. So maybe it's other auditors will have other top 5, but yeah, I agree with what he was mentioning, because it's mainly big issues. Then the last one, episode 321. It's an episode that I have done myself, because I have a lot of questions from people, how to do this, how to do that. So I give my 6 tips to grow as a quality and regulatory affairs manager. So there are some really sensitive topics that I mentioned inside, so really understand that, because there is also a risk as when you are doing this function as quality and regulatory affairs managers. Okay, so thanks again for following me on this channel and following the Easy Medical Device podcast, so Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Medical Device Made Easy podcast. So don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. If you also have some topics that you want me to discuss, if you have some topic that I can invite maybe somebody to come to the podcast and then discuss about that. So this is something that I'm really happy to do. So don't hesitate to send me a message at info@easymedicaldevice.com, info@easymedicaldevice.com. Thank you very much.